Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the morning show with Angel and Tina. How you guys doing?
Good morning. We had a little bit of technical difficulties today, so we are doing a live recording, but we cannot stream to Facebook. So we all got the black screen of death. So we are going to give this to you guys all. So you guys are going to be watching the replay. That's it. It is.
It's the replay. You didn't miss it on our Facebook profiles or pages this morning. As we tried to go live, we all got the black screen, and
we all got the black screen of death.
It was really the black screen. We tried it on 3 different accounts, just doing some little troubleshooting. But the show must go on.
Yes.
And so here we are with our.
We are pivoting once again.
That's what this day and age is, right? Is pivot.
Hashtag pivot.
Did you guys? Are you guys friends? Did you guys watch Friends? Ever get into?
That's what I was like.
Pivot. Right? We are definitely in that pivot thing. But thank goodness, right? We're entrepreneurs, and like this is what we do, right? We figure a way around it, and we figure out.
And all of our viewers are going to give us grace.
100%. 100%, you ladies. Yes.
Right? You tried it.
You guys are giving us grace, right? Thank you. We're going to assume that.
We are absolutely right. And
I'm so excited for these 2 guests today.
I am too.
So
and
excited.
What an incredible, talk about pivoting and,
Dawn.
Like Dawn shared the Zoom link on Facebook. Well, we don't want to get Zoom bombed.
Yeah, we don't want to do Zoom. We don't want to get Zoom bombed.
Right. So you guys, and so let's talk about Zoom bombing. Are you guys familiar with Zoom bombing, Ron?
Yes.
Yes.
It's just like social distancing. It was a new word, right?
It's a new word, right? That we all have to learn. But people are finding your Zoom links.
Yes.
On social media. And so that is my personal Zoom link. So I don't want it out on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
And so they're finding them, and they're like.
And they're getting into your Zooms and giving,
doing bad things.
Doing very, very bad things.
Doing bad things. Being mean and doing very bad things. So
now you shouldn't be sending on Zoom.
Right? You can't post your Zoom link. So if you are doing Zooms, do not post this is like security stuff, right?
Yeah.
Do not post your Zoom links on Facebook Live where people are, can post. Make it so they have to message you. Make it so they have to sign up for something before they get the link. So you've got, some protocols that way.
Yeah.
You have to have a password. Right?
Thank you, Dawn.
A password. You have to, you can set up waiting rooms so you let people in. Only have one person share their screen at a time. Like there's all these new little safety precautions. And so we don't want to be Zoom bombed. So we did not post the Zoom link out, but you can private message if you want that. And if you want to come and play with us.
If you want to join us, yeah.
Although,
once you get this, you're not going to be able to join us. So.
It's not going to be Facebook Live anymore.
You're not live. That's true.
I think I need another cup of coffee.
I only do live stuff. I don't do pre-recorded stuff.
Right?
When we were hosting our radio show, when we very first started, we wanted to be off for Thanksgiving because, it was Thanksgiving. And so we stayed in the studio on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and we were a live show, and we pre-recorded the Thanksgiving Day show.
So did you say everybody, happy Thanksgiving?
We did the whole thing. But it was back then when we first started, we were doing a 30-minute show. It took us 3 hours to record this 30-minute show because we kept stopping. We're like, no, I don't like the way that sounds, because you can go back and edit and we can change it. And after that, we're like, forget that, right? I worked an extra 3 hours yesterday in order to have today off. So we just did live after that. We just did live and never did a pre-recorded show again.
Well, I think it's kind of funny in your head when you start recording and then you know that you can delete it and reshoot it. You're always like, I'm gonna turn that one more time. Yeah, right? But when you go live, you're just like, okay, well, there's a blooper.
You pivot. You pivot. Yeah.
Right? Yes. For sure.
Did you hear me did you hear me do that blooper? They're like, no. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just in your head. You're fine. We're good.
So today, Angel and I are like going to be a 12-hour day today because we have our Connect 2 Summit today at 4 o'clock Eastern, all the way till 10 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, it is a 12-hour Zoomathon. It is our Zoomathon day, right? Because we have so many different events, different speaking events, of course, starting here with the show and ending with the Connect Summit. Yes. And your summit, Miss Michelle, was yesterday.
Oh my God,
yes,
it was so amazing. It was so amazing. Thank you for having us both on.
Right? Yeah, well, thank you both for being on. It was really great, actually. Super.
We had almost 500 people watching.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
Just one Facebook link, so that's pretty cool.
Wow.
Right, like you couldn't, I mean, not that we can't, but we weren't seeing those kinds of numbers at live, in a live event. Right?
Yeah, very true. And even
not without like a lot of marketing, a lot of pushing, a lot of to get people in the seats. You have 500
That's what we were talking about yesterday, that we're getting so many more people at our events virtually, and we're all saving all this money.
And time.
I think I kind of like the virtual thing.
Well, like Bill Walsh said yesterday, who is all of our mentors, everybody on this call, like he said yesterday, like you guys are even saying, we're pivoting, but he's not going to stop doing the virtual events now. This is part of our new reality.
Yeah.
So we're just now, as speakers, we're going to be integrating virtual events with our live events. So we're going to be at a live event and then hosting a virtual event in an hour.
In the back of the room. Yes.
Right.
So we're going to be hosting the Angel and Tina morning show from the back of the room.
Yes, totally.
I watched, so years ago, you guys know Lisa Nichols, like I was in her program and I was, a big fan of what she teaches, but she started live streaming her live events. And so her very first one, was a little clunky, right? But she ended up, it was almost like she was doing 2 events. She had the live version because she had an MC and a host and the whole camera set up for the people who are watching live. And she'd have like 1,000 people watching her live event. She'd have like 300 or 400 or 500 people live in the room, but she'd have about 1,000 people also watching it live stream. And she was able to, it was almost like 2 events because she had her MC who was talking to the people live. So the people who were watching live felt very engaged.
Bob Proctor does that as well.
Does he?
Yeah, he does that as well. So he'll go in, he'll say, everybody have a break. And then you'll go in the back of the, the back of the room comes up, hey, everybody on live stream, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. And so it's like having 2 events.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's totally going to be our new normal.
Yeah.
Like that's going to be it. So whenever we do events, we're going to be going live all the time.
Ron, what are you doing to pivot your business right now?
Pretty much the same thing. Everything's communication on Zoom, Facebook, going that direction more and more.
Yeah. I love it. I love how we can.
Well, and you and I talked about the masterminds.
So our masterminds are going to go virtually too.
Yeah.
So instead of having those masterminds, at once a month or whatever, we're going to go masterminding virtually.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I think it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a really, really great thing, is actually doing virtual masterminds, because it saves time, saves money, so we don't have to travel, right? Saves time and traffic. That's the big thing. I mean, I'm in Southern California. Yeah. We're in traffic all the time.
Well, see, and I have one here in Charlotte, and then I have one in Atlanta. So, Atlanta traffic.
I know. I am not looking forward to commuting. Yeah. Right? Like, because it's like teleporting.
You're probably not even looking forward to getting in your car. Because she doesn't ever get in her car.
I know. I don't. I've been self-quarantined now for over a month. I've been in my car.
But you know what? You're coronavirus proof because, you took the DNA test.
I did.
I did. The DNA test.
So you guys remember Tina and Kelly? They were on the speaker tour. Well, they were on the speaker tour my first year of traveling. And they do these, you do like a little swab where you get your vitamins based on your DNA so that they match up, like you're taking the right vitamins, right? Because we're all like guessing with vitamins and what do we really need to take and all of that. And so that it's the self-prescripted vitamins based on your DNA, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so anyway.
Like, uh-huh.
Right. And you kind of find out like what you're most susceptible to based on.
What vitamins do you have to take?
Well, it's like my own special prescription. So it's my own special blend. So it's my Angel Tuccy blend.
The angel vitamins.
They're my angel vitamins. And so they've been doing testing on the coronavirus, and they found some common genes, some common genetics. And so if you have these, this result on your test, then it's just, take extra precaution, right? You wear your masks and don't go out, right? You should be extra cautious because it's in your genetic DNA that you are more likely to capture this virus. And I don't. So I'm like, well, that's good.
So you can go out without a mask.
Right. But my daughters, we were making masks yesterday. And so because they are going back home, they have to go from Denver back to Florida because they're moving out of their apartment at the end of this month. Their lease is up. And so they're all like, they're hopefully.
Moving right now is a little stressful. My brother just actually moved into a place. So hopefully he's good. He doesn't feel very well right now. So I'm hoping it's not coronavirus.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Where does your brother live?
Portland, Oregon.
Yeah. I want them to stay. And I thought, well, call the landlord and tell him, give you a couple extra weeks, but they're kind of anxious to move too. They're excited about their new apartment, right?
Yeah. I'm sure they're going to be fine. They're totally going to be fine. I mean, especially because you guys are making masks and you have that gene. Right? So I'm sure the gene got passed down to your kids.
Yeah, right.
I want the angel gene.
You want the angel gene?
Yeah.
Actually, when you read my test, I've got some pretty good genetics, right?
Really? I want to do that.
Look at you, beautiful. You're smart. You're beautiful.
Yeah, I was like, I've got good genes. So, my mom
take that test so I can get good genes.
Yeah, my mom had she has a heart valve that she had to have replaced years ago. But she'd got rheumatoid arthritis. She'd gotten attracted that or whatever, right? And so the medications that she's on have really, terrible immune system, depleted her, but it's been because of her medications, not necessarily because of her genetics. But anyways, yeah, so I posted that. If you want to have the little blood, just swab your cheek, and then you make your own special blend of vitamins, because a lot of
so you posted it.
I did, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go over there. I want to try that.
Yeah, a lot of what we take, right? If it's not, we just pee it out, right? Like it's waste.
Yes. So. They're called bowl ringers, right?
Yeah.
When you take something and it goes down. Yes.
So that's been good. So I haven't been very good about.
Can we delete this?
Lately, but I'm getting better. Okay, well, we should get on to getting to know all of our fabulous guests. I'm going to start with Ron, and then we'll end with Darlene Michelle. So
Darlene Michelle,
right? Ron's from Yakima, Washington, from the Pacific Northwest. He's the founder of Transformational Mindset. Ron's a certified hypnotherapist, a certified master life coach, a certified healing practitioner. He is certified, right? And hypnotherapist of the Transformational Mindset of Emotional Clearing Process. All right. Oh, I didn't know all that about you, Ron. That's pretty impressive.
You have a lot of little secrets.
Yes. I love it. So how are you, like, how's business in the pandemic and in your industry? How's that going?
Pretty much everything's on Zoom. I have no clients that come into my place or anything like that. We're on lockdown, being in Washington, even though I'm in the central part. So everything is communication online and Zoom right now.
And is it working? I mean, does it work as well? Is it better?
I like it. And it's the transition of being to adapt to it.
Yeah.
Those that will not, I talked to someone the other day, and there's going to be a lot of life coaches, a lot of hypnotherapists, and they're going to go by the wayside in a year because they're going to refuse to grow with what we're doing right here. And that's the main thing.
Isn't that funny? Like, because you guys are
growth or decay, you can't stay.
Right. But you guys are in mindset, right? You guys are in helping people like overcome their challenges, and then they're going to go like, nope, we're not going to overcome this challenge.
Yeah. You know, you can lead them to the trough to drink, but you can't make them drink.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
So
true.
What is, you know, when people are coming to you and they're seeking out, like, what are people Googling that they end up in your office? Like, what's keeping them up at night?
Oh, it's confidence.
How to sleep.
Yeah, it's the anxiety, it's confidence, it's how we talk to ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, when we talk about verbal abuse to other people, you know, you hear that a lot, and Michelle can really relate to that, I know. And it's how we talk to ourselves, our language, and we don't think we're enough. We say, "Oh, I'm fat." We just do all these things that do not really work. They don't serve us, and we start believing that belief system. And so that's a lot of it right there, is that getting the person to start talking to themselves in a good manner and start believing in themselves. And if they're going to do something in the future, they're doing it right now. Start talking like you're doing it, you know, right now. I mean, in the moment, even if you haven't achieved that goal.
Okay, give me an example. Like, what does that sound like? What is that? Yeah, what is
your positive affirmations, right? Your positive affirmations that you tell yourself.
Yes, definitely. When I teach like tennis, and I'm a former tennis coach till this year.
Certified.
Well, not really certified. There was years ago that I never did get certified because I didn't need to.
Yeah.
It's a whole different thing. The girls that I would coach, they'd say, how do you rise to that occasion? How do you do these things? And I looked at them and I just blank told them, I says, I believe in myself. And they said, well, how do you do that? And I said, because I start talking to myself that. And
That's powerful, right? I believe in myself.
Yes.
Right? I mean, just right then and there, like, I don't know that I've ever said those words like out loud. I don't know.
But you know, you have to believe in yourself first, because if you can believe in yourself, how do you expect somebody else to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself?
Right.
Right. But I mean, just the way you said it, like, I believe in myself. I mean, I have like, I am statements, right? All of that, right?
Right.
But I don't know that I've ever actually said that, or even
I believe in me.
I believe in me. I believe in me.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Right. And so, but for those, I mean, we're pretty, like, we read a lot. We're around the right people, like who we associate with, the books we read, all of that. Like, we pour in, like, I think we're a unique breed, right? But a lot of people don't have as many of these resources. This isn't their environment, right? This is our environment that we're in every day, all day long. But there's a lot of people who are not in this type of environment. And so, and it's kind of been beat out of them, right? Like, it's just,
yes. We beat ourselves up. And we've watched our generations of our parents and grandparents, our friends around us. But the biggest question when I have a male client is I'll ask them if they love themselves. That is the hardest question. I have seen more men break down in tears. And some of them say, I never even thought about it. I've never asked myself that question. Do I love myself? And we have to love ourselves first.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
I love that you have to ask yourself, do you believe in yourself?
Do you believe in yourself? Do you love yourself? Right? Even if your parents didn't tell you, even if it's not coming, it has to start from the inside. But I think for so many, we're expecting that validation to come from somebody else.
Yeah. It's got to come from here. It's got to really come from our emotions.
Well, Ron, how would you suggest to your clients that they start doing that?
I work with them with talking to themselves and writing down some positive affirmations. My medicine cabinet in the morning, I have different ones, and
that's where mine is too.
I have mine written down with dry erase marker.
Yeah, exactly. Just during the day, walking around, the greatest baseball hitter, because I'm an athlete, sometimes I relate these sports things, but the greatest baseball hitter of all times is Ted Williams. And Ted Williams started, and I use this story in different metaphors and modalities, but Ted Williams walked down the street in Los Angeles and says, there goes the greatest hitter of all time. Well, he started telling himself so much that he believed that he became the greatest hitter of all time, and he still is. He's the last man to bat 400. But it goes on during the day and looking at yourself in the mirror and doing some mirror work. But I work with them doing a lot of that because they've not been told these things. It's told them that they're supposed to be able to love themselves. They didn't tell them that they were a beautiful person the way they are right now.
I went to an event right before we all got on lockdown, and she actually had hand mirrors for all the attendees, and we had to do this mirror work where we were saying like all these really beautiful things to ourselves.
That is an amazing thing. That's awesome.
I had never heard of that before. I'd never done that. And so the gal who was sitting next to me, I didn't know anybody at the event. It wasn't random. It was anyways, but she's like talking me through it. And she's like, oh yeah, no, here's how this goes. And she's so excited.
Did you feel like romper room?
Yeah. Right. Holding my mirror. Right. But how,
Michelle, you don't know romper room. You're cute.
No, no, I don't. I was like, what's romper room?
What is that?
She's so cute. So Ron, if somebody is going to start like with these mantras, believing in themselves, using these words all day long, mirror work, like telling themselves all these special things, how long does it take? Because I think that other little voice is like going, whatever, you're right.
Like that angel and devil on your shoulder, right? You're not good enough. I believe in you. You're not good enough.
Well, my biggest thing is that what other people think about us is none of our damn business. And it is none of our business what someone else thinks. I mean, who are they as an authority? But no, the more you do this, the sooner you start believing in your own self and doing that. It's like hypnotherapy basically is if people started listening to a tape. Mark Usack, our friend, I have one of Mark's tapes that he made for me. And the more, I don't even remember what Mark says. But the whole thing is that, no, I'm not a stage hypnotized, but the more I listen to it, the more that will start implanting into our subconscious mind, because we bypass our, conscious mind, because our conscious mind is where this is going on. Mm-hmm. This is some of what the things that are going on. We start getting into a good pattern of doing good things, and then all of a sudden this little chatter, this little talk is trying to talk us out of it. And to understand that that is not where we should be listening and direct, and be right in the moment.
Ron, how did you end up in this space? Like what made you decide this is what I want to do and the gift I want to give back to the world?
Life changes. I was an entrepreneur since I was, I could crawl. I'm an only child. My parents were always in business. I was always raised around adults, and then I went into the sports world of playing tennis. That my dad was a great basketball player and stuff, but I didn't fit into that mold. And I had people telling me I wasn't good enough to be a baseball player. I was a good player, just not an outstanding player. And then I started doing that, and I started listening to those people too, and I was beaten down. I became where I found something that I was good at, and that was playing tennis. But then I went back to doing automotive for years, and then what happened was I had a stroke.
Oh.
Carotid artery. And every time I came back to work, I would tear a knee, an elbow. I had an elbow rebuilt. And one day I walked in to my kitchen, and all of a sudden things changed. Spirit started coming through me, and I decided I wanted to be a service to people. And I knew that automotive was never a regret. And I had all these tools working with people. But the deal was I wanted to take the service to another level and start helping people. And I didn't feel what I was doing that. But I had to work within myself. That's how I became a Reiki master to start with. I was doing it out of books, but I needed some coaching with it. I needed attunement. And then that took me to being a healing practitioner. Then I found all of my teachers were hypnotherapists.
Okay. All right.
What
Right.
was
You
going
become
on?
who you hang out with the most, right?
Yes,
Oh,
right.
yeah, absolutely. So that's how I became a hypnotherapist, and I was doing it. And then I decided I wanted to go to one of the best schools in the United States. And that's when I decided, when my last mentor, she died at 90, and she was just sharp as a whip, and she wrote a couple books on Amazon, and she was a marvelous lady. And when she passed away, I said, it's time to shift gears now. Let's go. And so I had to reapply to get into the school I went to, even though I was approved 2 years. But before that, but I had to go back through the whole process. That's how I got there. And I wanted to make a bigger impact. And to make a bigger impact is to be doing what we're doing right now, is start talking to other people. It's not about the money. Yes, we all do make money, but the idea is being a service to others first.
I love that. I love that.
And touching other people. And
Found his purpose. You know, just like the people from yesterday, they took that negative situation and turned it into a positive one.
Yeah.
All right. So Ron, you've got something to give away to our audience today?
Yes, they can message you, and I'll do a 30-minute coaching session, and it'll probably be longer. So that's
wow. How do they get a hold of you, Ron? How do they set that 30-minute?
Set it up, have them message you, or you can email me through ronnehls@gmail.com, and we'll set that up.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So what kind of, like in a 30-minute session, like what kind of things do you go over? What kind of things do you do?
Basically, I want to see where they're at. They'll talk to me, and then we'll see where they're at, and then I'll go right from there. I use a lot of my intuitiveness. And then get a
If you intuitively know we'd have to record this show this morning.
Ron, come on. You could have told us beforehand.
Yeah, well, that doesn't work in that manner, but
you were so graceful, right? As we're going through and we're trying and we're troubleshooting, we're trying this account and that account, and yeah, you were very patient, waiting for us. Dawn,
Ron, go ahead and give your Gmail account, your Gmail email one more time for them to get a hold of you.
Okay, it's Ron Nehls, RONNEHLS@gmail.com.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's
an amazing offer, a 30-minute coaching call, right?
That's huge. That is huge. But Dawn, who's in our studio guest, who found us this morning and joined us in our studio, she was talking in the chat box about how women are good at validating each other a little bit more so than men tend to be. And so she's got some nice little comments in there for you, Ron.
Thank you.
So that was super, super generous, right? As we're, even just right now, I think, we're being challenged like more than ever, because of, nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows, what's going to happen. We're all in this, in this really uncertain time,
right?
And who we are and how we respond to all of this is going to be.
Well, Angel, the thing is, I always say that we have to get uncomfortable, and getting uncomfortable is a good thing.
Well, I think the world is uncomfortable, right?
Yeah, and that's a good thing because we can use that as a positive.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Well, Ron, stick around because we are going to have our second guest on. We would love to keep you around until the end of the show.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So we're going to bring up our next fabulous guest, Michelle Jewsbury. She is an author, speaker. She's a breakthrough specialist. Actually, she's an international philanthropist. She's a speaker and author. She's traveled the world as an advocate for the less fortunate. Her desires to help victims of domestic abuse is from her own personal experience, and she shares that experience in her best-selling book, But I Love Him. It's a painful yet inspirational true story of a strong, independent woman caught up in the horrifying cycle of domestic violence and how she got out. Michelle is also the founder of Unsilenced Voices, a 501c3 nonprofit focused on inspiring change in communities around the globe by encouraging victims to break free and survivors to speak up about domestic violence and sexual assault. She's a valuable resource in the speaking industry, a powerful professional speaker who uses her story of survival as encouragement and motivation for others. And she is the author of the program, Overcoming Obstacles. Michelle, we're so glad you're here.
Thank you so much for having me, ladies. And great job, Ron. I love that you were talking about self-sabotage, you know, how sometimes our self-talk is not necessarily positive. And when it's not positive, then we go spiraling downhill. So we talk a lot about positive power words and overcoming obstacles, and talking a lot about, you know, good self-talk where I am enough and I can do it and I will succeed. So it's great, really great advice and information, Ron. Great job.
Thank you very much, Michelle. That comes from my heart.
Oh, I love that our audience loves each other.
We love each other. Like,
we just all love each other.
Okay, Michelle. So I know that, you know, for a lot of people right now, they're figuring out ways to pivot, right? Families are coming together, you know, they're homeschooling, they're doing church together, they're doing walks and, you know, board night, you know, game night and all this stuff. Like there's a silver lining for many, but for a lot out there, that is not their reality, right? They're trapped at home, you know, in situations that aren't happy and positive and uplifting, and there isn't a silver lining.
Yeah, especially right now during this pandemic, the rate of domestic violence, the rate of sexual abuse, the rate of child abuse has gone up, actually. And statistics all over the world, third world countries, first world countries, doesn't matter, but it shows that in confinement during this lockdown, victims are actually more susceptible to their abusers during this time because they can't escape. Their abusers actually can't leave the house. So that means that they're trapped together.
And then the stress of that at all too, just, you know, it's overwhelming. So yeah. So
yeah, and especially, you know, the financial aspect as well.
What would you give a woman who is in that situation right now, who is listening to this? What would you say for her?
Even at, like, you know, I think a lot of times I was talking to somebody, Tina, and maybe you can say this, Michelle, like there was a woman who had a story about her escaping, and she's like, yeah, they won't be able to listen to this kind of stuff, but maybe a neighbor, right, will hear this, like somebody who's close to them or a relative. So even if they can't hear it, like somebody who knows them can help them, right?
Well, the really good thing right now is the victims, the survivors, actually can hop on Zoom calls like this and say it's for work or, you know, just listening to a seminar, and somebody like this conversation can happen, and then they have an aha moment saying, oh, I'm in that situation, I need to take action, I need to do something. So to answer your initial question, Tina, what can they do right now, and what resources are there right now in this pandemic? And there are, of course, the hotline, the National Domestic Violence Hotline. So I would love to post that when we do put this out. And then also, now is the time to take action. So oftentimes there's a cycle in domestic violence, and that last phase in the cycle, the apology stage, is what keeps most victims trapped. But during this time, you are really risking your life and risking the lives of the children that you have as well. And you really need to take that step if you know that you're going to end up leaving, and if you know that this situation is not good for you. There are shelters that are open, especially here in the United States. You can go on unsilencedvoices.org and go under the resources section, and there are resources for every single state in the United States of America.
Wow. You know, and I think that you know, we have seen, and Dawn is even saying, even divorce rates are up right now, because like you're with them all day,
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's no going to work, there's no break,
no escaping, no breaks, right? And there is financial strain, right? There's the added you know, the added, so even if you weren't
home, you're homeschooling, you're trying to
yeah, my girlfriend, she's like, the first few days, like we just cried, like, you know, she's homeschooling her kids, like they cried, I cried, you know, because, you know, they miss their friend, like it's even if you weren't in a challenging situation to start with,
you're challenged now.
You're challenged now.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be that you're trapped in an abusive relationship, because that isn't the norm, right? That is the rare occasion. But people are trapped right now, and they're anxiety stricken, they're worried, stressed out, especially about money right now. That's a huge one. Their jobs, they don't know what to do. So yeah, it's a challenging time for a lot of people. And we have a lot of clients who are contacting me and saying, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. You know, my heart rate's going super fast, and how do I control this? And so
I even heard a friend, she said that just wearing the mask was like giving her anxiety. And she's like, where did that come from? She's like,
wow.
She's just like, just putting it on, like, gave her anxiety. And so, yeah, it's this, it is. So, okay. So Miss Overcoming Obstacles, right? Help us.
Help us. Yes. Well, like Ron was talking about, it's definitely mindset, right? It's being able to shift and pivot your mind. So we teach a 5-step process. I can't go over the entire 5 steps, but I definitely can give it away at the end of this conversation. But it's all about being able to recognize what you're going through, being able to elevate those thoughts, feel those feelings so you don't suppress them, and be able to express them correctly, and then being able to create words, positive power words, and you can put them all over your house. And that works in this time too. We will get through. I can overcome. This does not define who I am. This isn't going to inhibit me from doing my dreams. And then from there, you take action steps. And those action steps are taking care of yourself, making sure you get enough sleep, eating the right things. I know I've been cooking a lot, so I have gained about 4 or 5 pounds. And now I'm like, okay, well, I've had enough sausage and gravy and pancakes. Now it's time for me to start eating healthy food. So that's what I'm doing, you know, and you pivot, you learn what's best for your body, for your mind, spirit, soul. So.
I don't think I've eaten as much bread in the last year as we have eaten in the last 3 weeks. Actually, probably just in the last week, because we started out pretty good, but our willpower has depleted. Right? Jay made homemade rolls, and we're baking now, which is like, we had pancakes and rolls, and I had croissants, and we had cake, and
and cookies. I baked cookies the other day. I love baking cookies, and you know, half the cookies don't end up on the pan. Half the cookies end up in my mouth before I bake them, because I love cookie dough.
I do too.
My wedding ring is too skinny for my little fat sausage fingers now.
Oh my gosh.
Right, because the willpower so I was doing some, I'm trying to stay active. We got a Peloton, so I'm trying to get some exercise in, because I'm doing a lot of sitting. I know that I'm eating, and then it was Easter, and I know my kids are adults, but we stuffed Easter eggs and hid them. We placed them around the house, and they did a little Easter egg hunt.
Listen, my kids still got Easter baskets every year. And of course, this year they're all gone, so they can't come home for Easter. But one of them said, I didn't get an Easter basket this year. He's in South Korea. And I was like, because I can't send it to you. He goes, I'm calling Child Protective Services.
Oh my goodness.
You need to mom up, right? You need to mom up.
I'm calling child. I said, you're 19 years old.
Right? Yeah.
My 26-year-olds still get Easter baskets.
26, and they were looking for Easter eggs, but Jay bought a 2-pound bag of chocolate.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
They almost ate. I think we ate half of it. It is okay. So keep me from the that's my obstacle, is I want the bread.
Well, out of sight, out of mind. So you can't have it in your house.
Well, she has to get her kids out of sight first.
They're in there. I can smell it, right? And we're doing it. A lot of it we're doing together.
That homemade bread smell.
You know, this time actually kind of reminds me of Christmas or Thanksgiving, because we're cooking, we're spending more time with our family.
Families at home.
We're watching movies, hanging out together, and that's not a bad thing. It's just everything in moderation, right? So if you want that bread, or if you want those cookies, eat them, but don't eat them every day. You know, that's the problem.
Like, oh,
right. But you're right, Michelle. Like it is almost like it's like a holiday, like a vacation, and you do things that you don't normally do. You give yourself a little break from all the discipline and all the structure, and so you're playing and being a little bit more free. And
well, I think that this is a perfect example of what we need to be doing, though, because I think that we are so regimented that we don't realize that the positive things in front of us, meaning, our friends, our family, quality time. And right now we are forced to figure out what it is that we love, what we want, where we want to go, and spend more time with our friends and family. And really communicate, picking up the phone and actually making a phone call, not just a text message, but making a phone call. And Angel, like you said yesterday, top of mind. If somebody comes to the top of your mind, they came there for a reason. Reach out to them, give them a call. Hey, how you doing?
I've always told my clients to act on those promptings. If you have that coming into your heart or coming into your spirit for some reason, you have to act on those promptings because there's a reason.
Yes, there's definitely a reason.
Reach out to them. Yeah. And there usually is. 9 times out of 10, when you reach out, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you called.
Yeah, it's like magic. It is. They're like, wait, I was just, it's like the timing is perfect. It is. It's like magic, and it's beautiful. Yeah. It's not a coincidence when somebody.
It isn't. You have to act on those promptings. You have to.
All right, Michelle, you have something good to give to our audience?
Yeah, definitely. So I created this opt-in for the Unite Summit, but I'm going to keep a hold of it for a little bit. We're also going to do another Unite Summit at the end of the month. But if you text Unite to 26786, again, it's Unite to 26786, you're actually going to get an entire 6-page guide to the 5 steps to overcoming obstacles. So this is the first time I've actually given this away. Typically this comes in a bundle that you pay for. It's not expensive, but it does typically come in a bundle. But with the pandemic, I figured we probably should give some more content away. And I really want to help our clients, our viewers with a lot of the obstacles that they're facing, because right now is the time to overcome. So text again, Unite to 26786.
I love that. I love that all of our guests are giving away so much. And I'm noticing that online too, that they're giving away so much. Come this for free. Come do this for free. Come do this for only $97. Come do this. Come do this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody's being so gracious, right?
Right. They're being generous. They're being gracious. They're being accessible. Right. We have all this access to resources and teachings and celebrities and programs that we might not have had access to before. So it's taking advantage. There's a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of people that are pivoting, a lot of new offers, a lot of creativity that's coming out. And really all of us just are in a place where the whole world, like it's not just us, but the whole world is trying to figure this out. And so having some grace and some patience for each other is, I think, is being extended. Right?
Yeah, and even using these live broadcasting platforms like Zoom
or semi-live.
Or StreamYard or any of these other platforms, people are aware that we're just at home and we're all figuring it out together. So there's no judgment. People have more grace for one another. And it's amazing. And like you said, Angel, people are giving out a lot of content. And the reason for that is because we aren't alone. It's not just our little bubble that's experiencing this. It's us worldwide as a collective humanity. So that's why we need to unite and join forces together and hold hands and help one another out. That's why there's pandemic pricing on most everything. Like my course right now is 75% off. So totally understand, right?
I love it. Yeah, we're doing pandemic pricing. Dawn is here in our studio audience, and her and I are working with Sharon Lecter, and there's a whole team of us putting together and talking about being accessible. Sharon Lecter, who is the queen of financial literacy, she is one of the most decorated, award-winning speakers, women speakers on stage, and she's putting together an event. We are all putting together an event in May, so coming up in about a month, called Assets Are Sexy. And she is pulling together some of the top speakers when it comes to financial literacy, creating those assets, those media assets, those communication assets, those marketing assets, and setting yourself up to either to get to that $1 million mark if you haven't hit it yet, and then to how to leverage that once you've hit that $1 million mark. And I know there's a lot of especially women in this gap where we've hit some success and had some strides, but how do we there's all this stuff for if you've reached this $1 million space, and there's all this stuff for starters and beginners in business, but for this gap, like, of people in business, like, how do you get into there? And so that's what Assets Are Sexy is all about. You guys can check it out. I think it's
what a great name. Assets Are Sexy. And I know that I've seen Sharon speak a couple times, and she is phenomenal. And when I saw her speak, she always talks about how assets are sexy. So what a perfect name for her summit, her virtual summit, right?
I love that. I love that.
You know, when we first started putting this together
summits
with her, right, it was going to be a duality. It was going to be a live summit, a live and virtual event. But of course, she's had to pivot. We've had to pivot as well. So it's going to be all virtual. But they are looking for moderators. They're looking for panelists, and bringing folks on, right? But that's coming up. Assets Are Sexy in May. Would love for you all to be a part of that. And then, of course, today, this afternoon,
in a couple of hours, the Connect 2 Summit with Angel and Tina.
I love it. Right. Okay. So I saw this meme yesterday. You know how when you're watching Netflix, like, over and over again, it has that little.
Are you still watching?
Are you still watching? They said it should change to, maybe you should take a shower and come back. That's what I'm going to feel like today. Maybe I should, like, get out of this seat, take a break, and come back, because all day long we are going to be doing fun stuff here.
Well, what have you guys been watching that you would recommend real fast? Like, what is it?
Netflix?
Yeah, well, on Netflix or Hulu.
So you guys
Amazon
all know that I have a roommate, Sal. She's one of my besties, but we, at nighttime, like around 8 or 9 o'clock, we each get in there and do it. So we just got done watching, what did we watch? We just got watching Haunting of House Hill or something. But before that, we almost started watching the stupid Tiger King thing. And we watched one of them, and I'm sitting there going, what the heck are we watching?
Ron, you watch Tiger King, don't you? I can see it in your face.
No, but I was thinking about turning it on and find out what it is a little more.
I was like, what the heck are we watching? I said, only people in the South would do it.
I have not seen it, but I've watched all the memes and I've seen all the stuff. Michelle, do you watch Tiger King?
I've never seen Tiger King, but I saw the advertisement come up yesterday.
We couldn't even do it, but before that, we were watching the Ozarks. So it was a good show. We never watched it before, and they were like, "Oh, season 3 is coming out." I'm like, "What is season 1 and 2 about?"
Yeah, Ozark is actually really good. It's intellectual. I love shows that are intellectually challenging and makes you think. Right? I don't I love comedy like Seinfeld and things like that, but I really like shows that make you think. Movies.
So did you watch the Ozarks?
Yeah, I've seen it. I haven't watched it all. Typically, I don't watch a lot of TV.
The Tiger thing we couldn't do. We couldn't do.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I did watch that Self-Made, that little Self-Made. It was like four parts to that. I am seriously working. All the time. Now we do watch, like, we'll go and watch like Star Wars, and we watch we'll just watch movies, like one-off movies, but I am not Netflix binging. I don't have time. I want to. Actually, I don't want to. I am not a TV watcher. I've never been. Like, I'm one of those that I don't, it's just never been.
Yeah, and it's probably not important to stay in front of your television right now. It's not important to sit in front of your TV. It's so much better to go on calls and summits and actually learn something. But if you do sit down and watch something, Ozarks is good.
Don't watch the Tiger King.
Okay. Yeah, just from the comments, I just knew. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna. That's not gonna grab me.
I'm like, what? I couldn't. I was like, turn it on. I can't do this. I can't do this.
This is
how about you, Ron? What are you watching?
I watch most of the summits and everything. Pretty much everything's educational. In fact, there was time for 3 years I took my whole TV out of the house.
Oh, wow.
TV.
Yeah.
I read the news. I knew what was going on outside of everything, but I took the TV totally out, and everything's educational. But I do like Netflix, and I like watching the one with De Niro and them with the mafia with Hoffa, because of my Uncle Nick was Jim Hoffa's right-hand man back in the 60s. And so
I watched The Godfather for the very first time.
What's that?
I watched The Godfather for the very first time on Thanksgiving at my brother's house because he's into that.
And did you watch it from beginning to end?
We watched all, like a marathon, right? Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'd never seen it before. But
that's a good
I don't
movie.
think I've ever seen that beginning to end. I think I've seen just like little pieces of it. I probably need to.
We did a marathon. But I only knew it from the movie You've Got Mail from with
Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan. He quoted the movie The Godfather throughout the movie, and so every time we would see that scene, I thought that was funny and like would laugh. I'm a rom-com girl. Like I just like light stuff, right? Because
have you seen the movie? I just watched this last night. He's Just Not That Into You.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, rom-com. It's great, but amazing stars.
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston, Bradley Cooper. I mean,
you know what I did see not too long ago? Cabaret. Is it Cabaret? Is it? Oh, with Christina Aguilera and Cher is in it.
Yeah. It's on right now. It's no, it's not Cabaret. It's Burlesque.
Burlesque. Yeah. I thought that was cute. Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was cute. Okay. All right. You know what? I know.
Well, we are 10 minutes over because we came in like 20 minutes
late.
past.
But I've got calls and
I have a mastermind to get on.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We are so sorry this cannot be live, but we appreciate all of you guys being on the Angel and Tina Morning Show. Be back with us tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. Hopefully, no, it will be live. And come back at 4 o'clock today for the Connect 2 Summit.
Connect 2 Summit. All right, you guys. We'll see you later.
Awesome.
Bye, guys.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.